It didn't start with billions. It didn't start with boardrooms, CEOs, or global ambitions. It started with a quiet dorm room, a glowing computer screen, and a young man tapping keys at 3 a.m., building something he didn't fully understand yet. Imagine this. One ordinary night in Harvard, a 19-year-old student writes a few hundred lines of code. Nothing special, nothing world-changing, just a side project. But here's the paradox. What if the platform that would reshape human communication, start revolutions, influence elections, and pull billions of people into a digital universe wasn't built with a plan at all, but with raw instinct? What if Facebook, Meta, the empire worth hundreds of billions, was never supposed to be an empire? What if it was an accident that became inevitable? To understand how Mark Zuckerberg actually built Meta, you have to forget everything you think you know about the story. Forget the Hollywood version. Forget the mythology. Forget the controversy. Let's go back to the early 2000s. The internet was messy, clunky, slow, static. People weren't online. They visited websites like travelers passing through strange neighborhoods. Social networks existed, but they were awkward. MySpace, Friendster, Orkut, half-broken, hard to use, and built more like online bulletin boards than communities. Then came Zuckerberg, a shy, introverted, socially awkward kid with a talent for seeing patterns nobody else could. He didn't just see code, he saw behavior. He saw something everyone else missed. People didn't want a website, they wanted a mirror, a digital reflection of their identity, their friendships, their status, their story. Facebook wasn't built to connect computers, it was built to connect people, and that changed everything. Within a year, Facebook wasn't just a project anymore, it was a gravitational force. But here's the stat that explains the insanity. Facebook added 100 million users faster than any technology in human history at that time. Faster than email, faster than radio, faster than smartphones. It spread across the world because it didn't behave like a product. It behaved like a biological organism. It replicated itself through people. And this is where Zuckerberg's genius and obsession kicked in. He didn't just build a website, he built an engine. To understand how Zuckerberg built Meta, you must understand one core idea. Zuckerberg doesn't build products, he builds systems that absorb everything around them. This is the hidden mechanism behind Meta's empire. Let's break it down using a simple metaphor. 1. Facebook, the social gravity machine. Think of Facebook like a planet growing in space. It starts small, but as more people join, its gravitational pull increases. More friends, more content, more engagement, more data, more advertisers, more money, more features, more users. A self-feeding loop. Zuckerberg's specialty. 2. Instagram acquired oxygen. When Instagram started rising, Facebook's planet felt a threat. Zuckerberg did not fight it. He absorbed it. Billions of dollars for an app with zero revenue. Why? Because Zuckerberg understood. Instagram had the oxygen Facebook needed to breathe longer. Young users, visual content, cultural influence. So he pulled it into orbit. 3. WhatsApp, the hidden spine. WhatsApp wasn't social. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't even profitable, but it had something Facebook desperately needed. Global dominance. Private conversations. The world's largest messaging backbone. Zuckerberg bought it not for what it was, but for what it could become. Now Meta controls the messaging infrastructure of billions. 4. The algorithm. The invisible puppet master. But the real secret weapon wasn't the apps, it was the algorithm. A silent, invisible force deciding what you see, what you don't, what you like, what you believe, how you feel. Meta didn't just host content, it shaped the emotional architecture of the internet. This is how Zuckerberg scaled a college website into a planetary ecosystem. But every system, every empire, every organism has a breaking point. For Zuckerberg, that moment came in a way no one expected. The world changed. Political tensions exploded. Elections were influenced. Misinformation spread. Privacy violations surfaced. Governments struck back. Regulators turned their eyes to Facebook like never before. And suddenly, the system Zuckerberg built to connect the world was being blamed for tearing it apart. The Cambridge Analytica scandal didn't just shake Facebook, it broke its mythology. For the first time, Zuckerberg was not seen as a genius, but as a villain, a threat, a monopolist, a manipulator of global information. And behind closed doors, something became painfully clear. Facebook's growth engine was slowing. The youth were leaving. The brand was aging. The algorithm was toxic. The core platform was reaching saturation. Facebook was dying as fast as it had once grown. So Zuckerberg did something unthinkable. He detonated the brand. He killed Facebook, and he replaced it with something far more ambitious, far more audacious, and far more dangerous. The world laughed when Meta was announced. The memes, the jokes, the glitchy VR avatars with no legs, the $30 billion losses, the endless headlines calling it Zuckerberg's midlife crisis. But here's what almost everyone missed. Meta isn't a company. It's a bet on the next version of reality. Zuckerberg isn't trying to build another app. He's trying to build the next world. Let's break down the metaverse like a metaphor. If Facebook was the digital mirror, Meta is the digital universe around that mirror. A world where avatars replace profiles, spaces replace feeds, presence replaces scrolling, interaction replaces consumption. And here's the wildest part. Meta is not a VR project. It's a control project. In a 2D internet, platforms compete. In a 3D internet, ecosystems dominate. Meta wants to own the environment others build inside. Just like Apple owns the App Store. Just like Google owns search. Meta wants to own the digital air everyone breathes. And only Zuckerberg has the capital, control, and obsession to pursue this at scale. So what's the truth behind how Mark Zuckerberg actually built Meta? It wasn't luck. It wasn't timing. It wasn't Harvard. It was pattern recognition. He saw behavior before others did. He saw networks before others did. He saw identity before others did. And now he sees the next stage before others do. Whether you admire him, fear him, or distrust him, you cannot ignore this. Meta is not a company. It is an era, and we are all already inside it, even if we don't notice yet. The uncomfortable truth? Zuckerberg didn't just build Meta. He built the digital environment that billions now live inside. And the next world he is building might be even harder to escape. So here's my final question to you. If Zuckerberg shaped the last 20 years of the internet, are you ready for the next 20 he's building right now? Tell me in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the hidden stories behind money, power, and technology, subscribe to the channel and join me on the next one.